for farmers and ranchers of 3 cyclones that struck the state in 2024, that according to University of Florida researchers. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 498 points, the Nasdaq up 199. More at townhall.com.
If anyone with everyday aches and pains, I've got a question. What are you missing out on? Probably a lot. So let me tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. It doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In about 3 weeks, you'll discover what it's like to feel better. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Hear that? The soothing sounds of a bubble bath. And if you were here, you'd smell a single cedar leaf candle. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. So if you ride, get back on the road and enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance from Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. And then take a shower, because it's fast, like your motorcycle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Roadside assistance may require comprehensive coverage. Not available in all states.
5. Here's the Wall Street Business Report.
Stocks rose to turn what would have been one of the market's worst weeks of the year into just a pretty bad one. The S&P 500 rallied 1.1% to shape its loss for the week down to 2%. The Nasdaq Composite gained 1%. A report said a measure of inflation the Federal Reserve likes to use was slightly lower last month than expected. It's an encouraging signal after the Fed shocked markets Wednesday by saying worries about inflation could keep it from cutting interest rates in 2025 as much earlier thought. The Dow up 498 points to close at 42,840. The Nasdaq gained 199 points to 19,572. The S&P 500 added 63 points to 5930. With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm John Scott.
News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters.
On Point Weather is made possible by our friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union on 107 The Point.
Here's your weekend forecast. We are clear and chilly tonight with a low temperature dipping down to 34. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine to go with a high of 52. On Sunday, more of the same, but colder. Sunshine-filled skies, a high of just 46. Saturday and Sunday night, expect low temps to dip down into the 20s. Winter is here, so bundle up. Have a great weekend. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
This is Sports Talk with Phil Kornblut and Chris Bergen. Sports Talk is heard across the state on radio affiliates of the Sports Talk Media Network and is streaming live on SportsTalkSC.com, as well as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to call in is 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now, here are Phil and Chris with tonight's edition of Sports Talk.
Well. It is another Founders Federal Football Friday night. Yes, we just can't get enough of those. How about another Founders Federal Football Friday night without a scoreboard? Hey! No Friday night, working late, midnight, 2 a.m. Let's have a party. Let's party in Chris Bergen's room in Jonesboro, Arkansas. That would be a wonderful place to go have a party.
There is actually what appears to be some sort of disco club right adjacent to the hotel. So, yeah, if you want to come on, Friday nights in Jonesboro can get kind of crazy.
Fridays. So you're in Jonesboro. Smitty's on his way to Austin, Texas, and I am in Myrtle Beach for the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Our airtime will be noon, and our kickoff will be 12:30. At halftime, we'll have the announcement of Mr. Football in South Carolina. Looking forward to that. We've got stations all across the state set to pick up the broadcast. In fact, I'll touch on those here in a little bit. And we'll have fun doing that while you guys are doing your thing. Smitty will be covering Clemson and Texas tomorrow afternoon. Make sure you follow him on our website, SportsTalkSC.com, and on our Twitter at SportsTalkPosts. I should say X. On our X at SportsTalkPosts with an S. And you've got exciting Coastal Carolina, Arkansas State basketball mixed in among everything else tomorrow.
Conference opener tomorrow against the preseason favorites. Arkansas State's been playing some really good basketball. They're coming 9-3. A win over Memphis, just to give you an idea of how talented they are. And this is a team that does not like the two-point shot. It's either a three or a dunk for them. Their head coach, Brian Hodgson, in his second season, if memory serves, is a former assistant at Alabama. So he brings sort of that Nate Oates philosophy about three-point shots are a whole lot better, not just mathematically, but they make more sense. So expect to see them put up a lot of threes tomorrow and against the best three-point field goal percentage defense in the country still in Coastal. So should be an interesting matchup tomorrow, but Arkansas State's extremely talented.
Yeah. Oh, and if you didn't know, if you're watching like one of the ESPN channels this afternoon, if you didn't know, the college football playoffs will begin tonight.
No.
They, you watch one of their football games, but it's like the football game interrupts the nonstop promotions for the national playoffs, which do begin tonight. Indiana, Notre Dame up in South Bend. So, the playoffs are here. Everybody says it's great. Okay, hey, it's great. We got 12 teams. Some should be in, some say, and others should be in, some say. We've got the controversy, which is great for college football. We're going to settle the national championship on the field. When two used to go head-to-head with the BCS, it wasn't good enough. So then we come up with the playoff. We go to 4. That's not good enough. Now we'll go to 12, but people already want to change that to 14 or 16. They won't be satisfied with that. They'll continue to water it down. But, there's nothing like college football players playing games in December where in South Bend, Indiana tonight, right now, it's 33 degrees and a foot of snow on the ground. Tomorrow, State College, Pennsylvania, 24 degrees. Columbus, Ohio, 27 degrees. Now, these are kids that in the past, before all this happened, with the seasons they had, they'd be playing either in Florida, in Pasadena, or in a dome somewhere. And now, because of the new playoff system, and I'm sure they're going to have fun, and I'm sure they're excited, and I'm sure they want to try and win a national championship. But now they got to go play in the Lambeau-like conditions tonight and tomorrow for the playoffs. The weather in Austin, Texas, is going to be much better, of course, for Clemson and Texas. I don't know. Something just doesn't feel right about all of this. But we're doing it, and this is where we're headed, and there'll be more, I'm sure, games in the snow. But here's the other thing when you think about it. So, you want to settle a championship, right? And you want to settle it with the teams being able to play their best, but the conditions, especially when you're playing in the snow, how much does that change? Like tonight, Indiana and Notre Dame, how much does that change what either one likes to do best when you have to play in the snow?
Well, I think you'd run into a really interesting question if, let's say, that was where Clemson was going, because a pass-happy team like Clemson from the South trying to absorb, 6-8 a foot of snow and also the cold, I think that would be a major challenge. But, let's face it, Phil, everything in college athletics is turning professional, especially in college football, just like the NFL. So what do Buffalo and Green Bay And if either one of the New York teams ever got good enough to get back into the playoffs and host a playoff game, New England, what do they all want? They want home field advantage not because they're the best team, but because the weather conditions they're used to, and they assume that whomever they're going to play is not as used to playing in those type outdoor situations, so it works to their favor. Here, you've got Notre Dame playing on their home field in cold weather. They just happen to get a cold weather team. But Penn State, facing SMU tomorrow. I don't know how in the world SMU, being in the South all season long, they're going to adjust. I think they'll be fine. I don't think they'll win, but I think they'll be fine. I mean, to go back to your original point, I think the Clemson-Texas game is probably the most normal of the bunch that we normally see in December. But, I mean, since we're putting out the NFL model, let's keep going that route and make it where you've got home field advantage. And if you happen to be a northern team, take advantage of the weather.
Yeah, but wait a minute now. I mean, NFL players, these are people who are older people. They've been in their particular league for several years. They make millions of dollars. They've got families and kids. Oh, wait a minute. We got that in college now, too.
Exactly.
We got college players in their 7th year with families and kids, and they're making millions of dollars in some cases. So I guess there's really no difference between the two. To me, it's one thing watching Kansas City and Baltimore play in December, January NFL playoff games, and it's 2 degrees and the wind is blowing and it's just miserable. I love that. I love that. I love Lambeau Field and all the kind of stuff with that. And we'll see how I think people, I guess, are going to love this as well. I just find it strange that we've got college. It's still college. We got college games being played in winter-like conditions in playoff settings here in 4 days before Christmas or 5 days before Christmas. It's just a very strange feel to me.
To your point about the continuing push to expand the playoffs, at what number do you think everybody will finally be satisfied? Is it 24? Is that the number we'll ultimately get to that makes everybody happy?
I would say 138. How many FBS
well, based
teams?
On what and based on what the NCAA tournament wants to expand now to 72 or 76 or 78, I think it was. I'm not sure. You would think 24, which almost mirrors what the FCS is doing. I think that would finally be the limit, wouldn't it? I mean, there's got to be a point where people just say enough is enough, right?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a point for anything in college sports. What's enough is enough in college sports. I don't think there's a limit to anything, and I think that there need to be some limits. We're not there yet. We'll have recruiting coming up, and of course, you can't even count on anything out of the transfer portal, John. A report out of Ole Miss today is that the linebacker who just committed to South Carolina on Wednesday, and obviously he got some kind of an NIL deal with South Carolina when he committed. He's taking a visit to Ole Miss this weekend, talking about the linebacker out of Grambling. So, I mean, even when you get a commitment from a portal John player, you can't count on that anymore. What can you believe in America anymore if a transfer gives you a commitment and then he can't stick to it? I mean, where are we, I ask you, as a society?
Here is what you can always count on, Phil. The almighty dollar reigns supreme. That's the one constant in everything, every aspect of life. The almighty dollar reigns supreme, and we're seeing it now trickle into college sports, turning professional. And you're right. You're right. You just gave your word to a school, 24 hours, 48 hours ago, that you're leaving one school to come to their school, and now you're already going to look at another school. If I'm South Carolina, I say I don't want this kid.
Yeah, I would agree. Now, who knows? Is this agent-driven? I think that this probably is. Now that agents are involved, and there's a lot of bad agents out there, they see this as their way to riches as well, and they don't have to deal with NFL general managers, and they can just deal with the college guys, and they can play their guy one against another and against another. They're going to keep driving they're going to keep driving the price of the players up. The inflationary part of this, I don't know if anybody's factored that in or thought about it, but I mean, where it is today, 3 years from now, think about where it's going to be, what the cost of a high-level quarterback is going to be. High school or transfer or even junior college now. I should even mention high school. I'm afraid that high school guys are going to be an afterthought, unless you're just that great player ready to come in and play right away. So, anyway, the playoff is here. It's going to be cold in 3 locations. It should be fun watching the games. We're all going to watch. I'm going to watch when I can. You're going to watch when you can. And we'll see how this develops as we move on through the tournament. Before we go to the break, and Smitty's going to be joining us, I wanted you weren't with us last night. Gamecock Larry passed away.
Yeah,
as you well know, wanted to give you a chance to, say what you wanted to say about his passing.
Well, I appreciate that, and obviously our thoughts, and you guys passed those prayers along to his family. It was so devastating. I saw so much outpouring of support for a gentleman who's become sort of a legend in our state just through outlets like ours. And I thought the tribute that Josh put together, he sent it over to me. I'm assuming you guys played it on the air last night. I thought it was brilliant and very well done, Josh, and really sort of choked me up a little bit listening to him, call in and razz us and razz the Tigers and like he always did. And that's going to leave a major, major void in our show. You just don't replace Gamecock Larry. All of our listeners, you know this full well. He's become a piece of the fabric of sports talk, and it was devastating to me when I read and when you sent the text out yesterday morning that he had passed away. It's a very sad moment. So I certainly wish his family all the best.
Could always count on those 90 seconds at least.
Yes, indeed.
Those 90 seconds to fill the show. Okay, tonight we've got our normal Founders Federal Football Friday night gang. We'll have the governor and the attorney general, bottom of the hour, as things are really tight in the battle for the Corn Cup in the football filibuster. Really, really tight. Things are really tight in the Sports Talk Pick'em Challenge contest as we are playing for a beautiful trophy that was made at a high-priced jewelry store on Rodeo Drive in Los Angeles. We all want that. Lee Sterling will be here. Sterling Picks as well. We'll be right back.
When I grow up, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a dentist. I want to be an engineer.
Making dreams come true starts with making a plan. Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 college savings plan, makes it easy to invest in a child's future education so they can chase any dream. You can start with any amount. Contributions are tax-deductible, and earnings grow tax-free. Discover the smart, easy way to save for college today at futurescholar.com.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at experiencecolumbiasc.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
There's a lot of things we take for granted in our lives. Your home's AC will run cool. Your drive-through coffee will be hot. And the car will start when it's time to take your kids to school. It's when things don't go as planned that you start thinking about who to call and where to turn. The good thing is, you can prepare for life's most difficult days by calling the Larry Lucas Agency today. Larry is a State Farm agent that has been taking care of people across South Carolina for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. Most importantly, the Larry Lucas Agency can help you choose the protection you want at the price you want. All backed by South Carolina's #1 home and auto insurance company. Visit LarryLucasAgency.com today or give Larry a call at 803-799-1998. Like a good neighbor, Larry Lucas State Farm is there. South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef, it's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff Program.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. Friday, getting down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. Partying.
Hey! It's Friday. we're at the beach. At least some of us are. You can get to the beach, and you can find a great place to stay. In fact, Smitty was talking to Jimmy Smith. They're not related, by the way. Matt Smith, Jimmy Smith, not related that we know of, but they're good friends. And Jimmy was just talking about people are booking for the spring and the summer. So get on it, people. You want to get a great place at the beach, you need to give Jimmy Smith a call, 843-237-4246, online at Paulie'sVacationRentals.com. Let me tell you, he'll put you in a great house. You got something, you got a big family, you got a lot of people, he'll put you in a big house. Or if it's just you and the dog or you and whoever, he'll put you in a condo. And you can hide away from people down here at the beach. Just get lost and mingled in with everybody. 843-237-4246 for your perfect beach getaway at Paulie'sVacationRentals.com. Jimmy Smith at James Smith Real Estate. Okay, Matt Smith is joining us now here on Sports Talk. Matt is making his way out to Austin, Texas. No, he is flying. He's not driving. He's, shall we say, in between flights. And he'll be covering Clemson in Austin against Texas. So, first of all, Smitty, it's great to have you with us. Want to remind everybody to follow you on X and follow your work on the website tomorrow.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to it. I mean, this is a big moment, obviously, in the history of Clemson football for so many reasons. Obviously, the college football playoff, and in the first year of the college football playoff on the road at Texas. And the first time these two colors of orange are going to share the same field. So there's so many things, so many storylines that are converging here. I'll tell you, I don't know what your reaction was, Phil and Chris, but to me, one of the surprising things, not necessarily that Texas came out as double-digit favorites, but perhaps that line has continued to climb. I know you'll have Lee Sterling on later, but I thought that line may come down as people started to discuss, playoff games, people tighten up. And Texas is a team that has struggled in the red zone. They haven't eclipsed more than 20 points in 3 of their last 4 games. So I'm a little surprised that line has really stuck and they actually climbed a little bit.
Yeah, 12 points, the last one I saw as of yesterday. We'll have our picks coming up here in a little bit, but let's talk about the game. Chris, I mean, this Texas defense is really special, and they're healthy on defense. Their problem is offense, where their quarterbacks had an ankle sprain. Their great left tackles had an ankle sprain. Their best receiver, I guess, Isaiah Bond, he may or may not play. So their offense is a little wounded, but I think their defense is pretty healthy, and they have just been dynamic. And this is you're playing an SEC schedule, and you're giving up 12.5 points per game. What does that mean for Clemson's offense?
It's a really good question, and especially if they come in and the Texas defense realizes Clemson's not going to be able to run the football. And by the way, Smitty, I don't know if you've heard this, so make sure you have this in your game notes. Cade Klubnik is from Austin. So it's
Texas.
a pretty big homecoming for him. So I wanted you to pass that along.
That's courtesy of ESPN.
8 minutes away, he said.
As they remind you every half hour that the college football playoff, maybe it's not every half hour, every 15 minutes the college football playoff begins tonight, in case you weren't aware. And Cade Klubnik is from Austin. I'm sorry,
yes.
Go ahead.
Westlake High School, an outstanding program in the state of Texas. But
yes.
to your point, Phil, about what Clemson can do, Clemson's got to find a way, banged up or not with Phil Maffa, they've got to establish some sort of run game, because if that Texas defense realizes they're going to be one-dimensional, it is going to be a long homecoming for Cade Klubnik, because they'll just be able to pin their ears back and come after him. And so I think the Clemson offensive line, they've got to find a way early in that ball game to establish a run game, settle in a little bit, and obviously they're going to have to throw it a good bit to win that game. But against the Texas defense, they can't be one-dimensional. They've got to make sure they do. And I thought, I guess it was Wednesday, I thought a really, really interesting point that Coach Reedy brought up is the fact how well Clemson has done taking care of the football this year. They're not nearly as turnover-prone as they were last year. That clearly will be a major factor on the road. But I still think first and foremost offensively, they've got to be able to run the football.
Yeah. And Smitty, another key point here, and Chris just touched on it, the fact that Clemson protects the football. Texas does not protect the football all that well. They are prone to turning it over. Now, they're also good at creating turnovers. So, but this Clemson defense has gone out, and like with the SMU game, early turnovers really put them in a position to open up a nice lead and then hang on at the end. So do you think the turnover battle here, if Clemson can force a couple of turnovers, that they can somehow take that and go in there and get a win?
They have to win the turnover battle. I think, period. On the road, college football playoffs at Texas with a hobbled Phil Maffa who's playing practically with one healthy shoulder. They have to win the turnover battle. And another thing they have to do, this game could come down to it, is that red zone roulette. The reason Texas has scuffled a little bit offensively is because they don't score efficiently in the red zone, or they haven't through the second half of their schedule. And that's somewhere, look, Wes Goodwin has taken his lumps with the Clemson fan base and on the message boards, but something his team has been good at is good in the red zone. So now that brings us to another storyline ESPN may want to play up as well, which is Arch Manning, who didn't have a key role in the SEC championship against Georgia. I think he will against Clemson because they need a spark in the red zone. And Arch Manning, unlike his uncles, can run. So to me, that's a major factor. You mentioned the turnover battle and also Clemson. I think Garrett Riley's going to have to dust off that old air raid, Hal Mummy, Mike Leach playbook. I said, you've got to stay balanced somehow. I don't think they can. I've looked at this Texas defense. I don't see any way they do it. I think it's the quick pass game, and then they're going to have to draw Texas in and then go over the top. The problem is Texas has made a living this year winning those 50-50 balls, the moment of truth. They've been winning those. Antonio Williams, Brian Wesco, we saw them win those balls against South Carolina early and against SMU, which helped lead to that win. Doing it against Texas, maybe the best secondary in the country, they're giving up 4 yards per pass play. Let that sink in. They only surrender about 143 yards through the air. So now you're telling me a team in Clemson probably is going to abandon the run and play with one arm and just be a pass-first team, and they're going to do it against arguably the best pass defense in the whole country.
Great points. I also think critical how well Klubnik plays in the first 5 or 6 minutes. He tends to get amped up. When he gets too amped up, he makes mistakes. He tries to force the ball. He throws an interception. He's playing – did you know he's playing in his hometown? He's playing in his hometown. He's going to have, family and friends there along with Clemson fans. And so he's got to come out cool, calm, and collected. He can't go out there playing 150 miles an hour and make mistakes. Smitty, safe trip the rest of the way. Look for your stuff tomorrow on the
Thanks,
website
buddy.
and on X. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Watch for TJ Parker off the edge, too.
You got it. Be back with the football filibuster.
On Point Weather is made possible by our friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union on 107 The Point.
Here's your weekend forecast. We are clear and chilly tonight with a low temperature dipping down to 34. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine to go with a high of 52. On Sunday, more of the same, but colder. Sunshine-filled skies, a high of just 46. Saturday and Sunday night, expect low temps to dip down into the 20s. Winter is here, so bundle up. Have a great weekend. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
Santa and his elves spend all year getting ready for one night. But there are some things that even the big man himself leaves to the professionals. Palmetto State Armory is here to supply the gifts for all the outdoorsmen on his list. Everything from guns and ammo to hunting gear, accessories, apparel, gift cards, and more. Santa trusts PSA to help him finish filling all those stockings. That's why the last stop the sleigh makes before the big trip is Palmetto State Armory. Palmetto State Armory, for the gifts the elves can't make.
This is an SRN News special report, the continuing resolution battle on Capitol Hill. I'm Keith Peters. Hours to go before a midnight government shutdown, the House has approved a new plan from House Speaker Mike Johnson. It would temporarily fund federal operations and disaster aid, but drops President-elect Donald Trump's demands for a debt limit increase into the new year. It next goes to the Senate for expected quick passage. Johnson had insisted Congress would meet our obligations and not allow federal operations to shutter ahead of the Christmas holiday season. Trump had doubled down on his insistence that a debt ceiling increase be included in any deal. If not, he said in an early morning post, let the closures start now. This has been an SRN News special report. I'm Keith Peters reporting.
If you are 65 or older,
lots of plumbing companies out there. Few are truly local. Time to discover the difference with Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. See, when I faced plumbing woes at the Cohen home, Josh and his dedicated team, well, they were my go-to solution. They make a commitment to exceptional service. They arrived on time, clearly detailed all the costs and procedures, and efficiently handled all my repairs without any surprises. These days, how often do we complain about a lack of customer service out there? With Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning, these folks are professional. They're courteous. They're skilled at what they do, and they've earned my trust, and they've earned my recommendation to you. From urgent repairs to the tankless water heater you've always wanted, they've got you covered. Visit franklinplumbing.sc.com or call 799-2222. That's 799-2222. Hey, you tell them Kev sent you from The Point. I'm pretty sure you'll want to thank me later.
Hey, y'all, this is Ted from Flight Deck Restaurant. During this holiday season, families and friends like to get together to celebrate Christmas. If you need a space to host your event or your family get-together, Flight Deck Restaurant can help. We can accommodate parties from 10 to 100, everything from setup to cleanup. Now, most importantly, during this wonderful Christmas, we at Flight Deck and our families want to thank our Father in Heaven for sending Jesus to be our Lord and Savior. Thanks, y'all, and may God bless you, and may God bless America. Merry Christmas.
Are you looking for free checking and free savings? Dave Ramsey here, telling you to go see my friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union. They're not a mega bank that's so big they lose the ability to treat you like a human being. At Palmetto Citizens, you're not just a number, you're a member. Join today at any of their 14 locations or at palmettocitizens.org. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Pardon me, ma'am. Are you interested in lowering your energy usage and saving money?
Make it quick.
Did you know that Dominion Energy offers heating and cooling rebates up to $750?
That's a lot of money.
Yes, it is. And it comes in handy if your system fails and you need a replacement.
Any restrictions?
For starters, your new equipment must be Energy Star qualified.
That's a good thing.
Go to DominionEnergySC.com and click Save Energy.
DominionEnergySC.com it is. Thanks for the tip.
Certain restrictions apply.
As we celebrate 10 fantastic years at Sweet Comfort Services, we're cooling you off with unbeatable deals on all SEER 2 and high-efficiency AC equipment. Hey, Point family, mention this ad and get a thorough spring maintenance check from our expert non-commissioned techs for just $95 for your first system and a chill $45 each additional system. Look us up at sweethvac.com or call us at 331-8143. Celebrating a decade of keeping you cool and comfy. That's the Sweet Comfort promise.
We are back. It is Sports Talk on a Founders Federal Football Friday night here in South Carolina. We got football everywhere. Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl tomorrow. Shrine Bowl tomorrow. Hey, did you know the college football playoffs begin tonight? And Clemson involved in that in Texas on Saturday. So big football weekend here in the Palmetto State. It is now time to turn to two of the great political minds of our era, and also two gentlemen whose football prowess continues to grow by the week. Last time out, championship weekend, Governor Jim Hodges and Attorney General Alan Wilson both went 4-1. That's pretty amazing. Of course, it's too bad you can't gamble in South Carolina legally, so they really couldn't put any money down on anything. So they didn't profit from their knowledge, but their egos were certainly inflated because they both went 4-1. That makes them 39-36. It's a dead heat as we go into the Christmas holiday. General, welcome. Now, you know the governor, he's the Grinch that stole the corn cup So be careful now going into the holidays here picking games against him.
Well, his heart is 3 sizes too small, that's for sure.
That's a good one. That's good. Governor, how are you?
I'm just tired of winning championships, Phil.
I know.
I'm winning so much, I'm tired of it.
Oh yeah. Are you starting to prepare yourself for a possible defeat here, or do you think you're going to pull it out?
Oh, you can lose any time. I like the trend line. I like the way I've been doing lately, but these are tough games. You know, when you get down to particularly with the number of points on the point spread in some of these playoff games, they're really tough.
Yeah, a little surprising that playoff games would have such wide spreads, but we'll see if some people can pull some upsets off here. So tonight we're going to do the Coastal Bowl game and then the 4 playoff games. And then next week, we'll do our bowl bonanza, and then we'll see where we go from there. See if we still pick games after that if we need to. So we've got 5 games for you tonight, gentlemen, and we will go with the general leading off tonight. Since he hasn't won as much as the governor, we'll give him the first shot at it tonight. Both of you 4-1 last week, 39-36. It's a tie overall. We begin with UTSA and Coastal Carolina in the cold in Myrtle Beach. Supposed to be in like the mid-40s, Chris Bergen, on Monday morning.
Love it.
11 o'clock. Nothing like 40 degrees, 11 o'clock in the morning at Coastal Carolina for the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Coastal at home getting 10 points. General, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I thought that spread, I agree with what y'all said. This is interesting spreads for this late in the season during the bowl time. But because Coastal's basically got the home court advantage here, home field advantage rather, I'm going to go with Coastal. That's going to be tight, but I'm gonna go with them getting 10 points.
All right. Yeah, not too many teams have had a chance to play a bowl game on their home field, I don't think. Boise State may have done it in the past. Now Coastal gets a chance. Governor, what do you think here?
I'm going to go with UT San Antonio. Coastal has a number of players that have opted out of this game or transferring, and they're down to their third-string quarterback. And San Antonio's played really well lately. I mean, they've been good the last 4 or 5 games. So I think San Antonio is going to win this handily.
Can you name their mascot?
No, I cannot.
Cannot.
What is
General, can you name? Can you name their mascot?
UTSA?
Yeah.
No, I can't.
Yeah, the Roadrunners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like South Dakota. And South Dakota State is the Roadrunners too, right?
Bergie, is that right?
South Dakota State is
the Roadrunners.
Yes, South Dakota State, I think, is the Jackrabbits, actually.
Jackrabbits.
That's okay. I knew they had one of those unusual names.
Roadrunners, Jackrabbits. Yeah, we got you. All right, Governor, let's go to the playoffs. Tonight, Indiana at Notre Dame in the snow. 7-point favorite, the Irish. What do you think?
Indiana has the spot South Carolina should have in the in the playoffs. I think Notre Dame's going to win this handily.
If the Gamecocks had that spot, would you be in South Bend for this game?
I might, because South Bend's such a legendary place, and that's not a place I've been to a game. But I might have gone to that one.
I mean, could you have gotten tickets, through some of your powers?
I don't know about my powers, but through my checkbook, I probably could.
I hear you.
I would go. That would be my Christmas present. How about
that? General, what do you think about this one? Notre Dame favored by 7 at home.
I'm going to go with Notre Dame on this one. I agree with the governor on what he said, where South Carolina should be in this slot. But and I'm not a big fan of Indiana's schedule, so I'm just going to go with Notre Dame.
You got the Irish. There you go. Let's go to State College, Pennsylvania. It's supposed to be, I think tomorrow there is 24 degrees. And Penn State's 8.5-point favorite over SMU. General.
I think that's too many points. I think Penn is probably going to win, but I think SMU can keep it close. They're also kind of hurting from that Clemson loss, so I'm going to go with SMU.
All right, Governor.
I'm going to go with Penn State. Normally they disappoint in big games like this, but But big game at home. Team from Dallas playing in 24 degrees weather. What could go wrong with that? I'm taking Penn State.
Of course, James Franklin's record against, top 10 teams? I don't think SMU's top 10. Well, they're close enough since they're in the playoffs. I mean, his record's miserable. I mean, they are big game. They're in the Big Ten, but they're big game chokers at Penn State. We'll see if they do that again tomorrow. All right, Tennessee at Ohio State, Governor. It's going to be 27 degrees in Columbus. So Tennessee's going up there, and Ohio State is favored by 7.5. What do you think?
I think Tennessee is going to keep it under a touchdown or under. That's basically what the spread's saying. I just think Tennessee's defense is good enough, and Ohio State has been disappointing enough to think they'll keep it close. But I do think Ohio State will win. Okay,
so you want Tennessee and the points.
I do.
All right, You want the Tennessee Vols and the points. Okay. General, what do you think?
I agree with the governor. That's too many points. Ohio State will probably win, but Tennessee's pretty stout, and I think they'll keep it interesting. So give me Tennessee.
Tennessee, you got them. Y'all prefer, which one do you prefer? Governor, do you prefer Tennessee bourbon or Kentucky bourbon?
No comparison. Tennessee or Kentucky bourbon.
Oh, Kentucky? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. General?
I haven't had bourbon in over 13 years, but when I drank it, I was a Kentucky man.
Okay. Just wondering. Let's go to Clemson at Texas, gentlemen. Tigers are, well, you know what? They're right where they like to be. Underdogs, us against the world. Underdogs by 12. A lot of people think they shouldn't even be there, but they earned their way there by winning the ACC. General, what you got here?
Again, that's too many points. Texas is probably going to win this game, but Clemson is scrappy. Like I said, they played by the rules. They got there through the ACC championship, and they got something to prove. They got a chip on their shoulder, so I think they're going to keep it close and interesting. 12 points, just too much. So I think Texas will win, but I think Clemson will keep it interesting. So give me Clemson.
You think Gamecock fans should be rooting for Clemson, General, since they are carrying the state flag into the national playoffs?
Well, the governor's not running for office again, so so he might have a different. I'm going to pull for Clemson. First off, as a Gamecock fan, I think it helps us in the long run. I mean, for them to do well, it helps South Carolina, but it's going to be tough. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I understand. All right, Governor, who you got here?
I'm with the general. I think the one thing people underestimate here is the fact that Clemson and Dabo have been here before. I mean, they have been in playoffs, and Texas is not. And I think that's worth probably a touchdown, that alone, because just of the experience he and his staff have in playing in these big championship-type games. So I think Texas is going to win, but I believe that Clemson's defense is good enough and their coaching is good enough that they'll keep it close. So I'll take Clemson.
All right, you want Clemson? Those 12 points are big.
It's a lot of points.
Those are big, yeah. And you'll be rooting for you'll be behind Clemson. You're going to be sporting a little orange tomorrow, maybe.
If there's one school that I dislike more than Clemson, it's probably Texas. so I'd kind of like. I mean, I don't care a whole lot. I mean, neither of them do I particularly like. But the one thing I do know is that Texas is in the SEC, and they're a team that we have to deal with more frequently than Clemson in terms of because of conference championship. So we're probably better served if Texas gets bloodied up a little bit.
Okay. Now, when you were governor, you were fair-handed for Clemson and South Carolina, right? You didn't let your allegiance, influence you one way or another when you were making policy and laws and things like that.
No. The things we dealt with in the governor's office were about funding higher education and those kind of things. So everybody benefited from those things. But I made it pretty clear that I was a Carolina graduate, so shouldn't lie about those things.
No, you shouldn't. That's why I don't ever lie about having gone to Harvard. Why should I lie about that? I'm proud of it. Okay. Who's that cackling? I hear somebody cackling.
Harvard's called back numerous times.
Yeah, they have, haven't they? Yeah, he's got it. He says he also has a degree from south of a border university.
SOB.
Where his
You
undergrad
doggone
is
right.
at SOBU.
I got the SOBU, that's for sure. Okay, guys. 1, 2. So we got 3 agreements here. So, General, we'll move into a period here of amendments. You agree on 3, Clemson, Tennessee, and Notre Dame. Would you like to change anything?
No, I'm going to hold. I'm happy with my picks.
Okay. Governor, you got a chance here to change up 3.
No, I mean, I think we've got another week after this at least. So I think having 2 differences is plenty.
Yeah. And it only takes one difference to win the championship.
That's right.
Yeah. Fellas, we appreciate it. Let us be the first to wish you happy holidays with you and your families and everybody. I hope you have a great week ahead. Enjoy everything. Good luck with your picks. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Phil. Merry Christmas,
guys.
Merry Christmas to you guys. Thank you so much. All right, Jim Hodges and General Wilson joining us here on Sports Talk with the football filibuster. Appreciate that very much. And they've had a very tight competition again this year, 4-1 each last week, and 39-36 overall. Okay. Now, before we move on, after the break, we'll give you our picks for our own competition, which is also very, very tight. But I want to mention something here that I've mentioned in the past, and I want to mention it again, that we here at Sports Talk want to let you know that we have partnered with Underdog Fantasy. Underdogs is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. It's the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. There's multiple ways to play, but some of the higher and lower projections for players include, any particular day there can be highs and lows for particular players. And you'll also want to play like for the NFL games, of course. And you can play fantasy with the college hoops and college football and the NBA. So take a moment. If you love playing fantasy sports, and I mean, gosh, millions of people do all around the world, you want to visit UnderdogFantasy.com, UnderdogFantasy.com, and register with promo code SportsTalkBonus to claim your free pick and your first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Again, UnderdogFantasy.com, okay? And it's not fantasy of that kind of fantasy. This is fantasy of sports, like your fantasy football leagues, baseball leagues, NBA, NASCAR. I mean, every sport's got fantasy leagues going. This is what we're doing, UnderdogFantasy.com. Now, you must be 18 or 19 in Alabama and Nebraska, or 19 in Colorado for some games, 21 or older in Massachusetts and Arizona. You must be present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. It's void in Colorado. If you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org, www.ncpgambling.org. Check that out, UnderdogFantasy.com. Make sure you use that promo code. It's very simple, Sports Talk Bonus. Promo code Sports Talk Bonus. Okay, going to hit the break. We'll come back with our picks. Then Lee Sterling coming up after the top of the hour. Plus, we have some comments from Steve Sarkisian from Texas and from the Gamecocks, Nick Emanwari. Be right back.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hostetler-Brown. Helping an aging loved one arrange for their care can be one of the most difficult things you will ever do. Fortunately, you don't have to navigate this maze alone. Lawyer Lisa's knowledgeable life care team can lead you down the right path. Visit lawyerlisa.com to see how we can help.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Every lottery ticket purchase keeps education in our state moving forward. In fact, the lottery has raised more than $200 million for state school buses to get our students to school safely every day. Then, the lottery helps those students go even further in their education by funding the Life, Hope, and Palmetto Fellow Scholarships. So remember, when you play the lottery, you're keeping South Carolina students on the road to success. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Touchstone Energy Cooperative members save more on electricity, and members save more on insurance, groceries, healthcare, restaurants, travel, concerts, and sporting events through Co-op Connections. Touchstone Energy is an alliance of the member-owned electric cooperatives, and as a member, the power is yours. Experience the power of co-op membership with Touchstone Energy and find out how much you can save on electricity and a whole lot more at touchstoneenergy.com.
George Bryant for Tsunami Bar Sports. Our inventor, David Abernathy, has always said Tsunami Bar technology allows us to take the training to the grass. Now I know through my sport of golf that natural agility can be converted to athletic ability. And why is this, Tsunami Robbie?
Transferring the training to the grass. This may be the most undervalued characteristic of the Tsunami flexible bar technology. The Tsunami bar action loads and unloads at the concentric and eccentric transition points. This is what we call reversal forces, and the Tsunami bar is the only bar and training device that I know of that can train these reversal forces adequately at speed.
Hey, this is Phil Kornblut. The Tsunami Bar is a terrific training device, whether you're working on your fitness or your golf game. It's convenient, it's easy to use, and you won't feel beat up afterwards. Be sure to click on the digital ad on SportsTalkSC.com and get 5% off any order using promo code BBB5. Don't wait, order today. High school champions have been crowned, and now it's time for the All-Stars to shine. And they always shine brighter at the beach. This is Phil Kornblut, and be sure to join our crew Saturday from Myrtle Beach for the Touchstone Energy Cooperative Bowl. We'll hit the air at 11:30 with kickoff at noon. At the half, we'll have the live announcement in South Carolina. It all comes your way right here Saturday at 11:30 on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Now, Sports Talk Picks, brought to you by Experience Columbia SC, right here on the Sports Talk Media Network.
All right, going to get to our picks in just a second. I want to go back for just a moment and add a little bit more to what I was saying about Underdog Fantasy, because I've now gotten some pertinent information to add to it. Like, multiple ways to play. Higher, lower is one of the simplest. And you can head over to Underdog Fantasy and you can place an entry. Like right now, you can place an entry on Clemson's Cade Klubnik. He's at 23.5 rushing yards. I think I would definitely take the higher on that.
Going to have to, don't you think? For them to win, he's probably going to have to rush it for about 50 yards, I would think, especially if Maffa is not effective.
Bryant Wesco's longest reception to be higher or lower than 20.5. I would take the higher on that. And Nolan Hoosier at 1.5 extra points. Sounds like I would take the higher end on all three of those. I mean, I think Clemson will score a couple of touchdowns.
I would hope so. Except Wesco's one, I think I might go lower there just based on what Smitty told us earlier about how good Texas's secondary is this season. And you know they're going to be focused on those guys.
I just think, I hear you, but I think Klubnik's going to hit a deep ball or two because I think their offense is capable. We can't forget that Clemson's pretty good, that Clemson plays great defense, and Clemson can hit you with the deep ball. With Maffa hurting, that's really about the lone thing that they've got to be worried about if you're a defense. Again, make sure you go to UnderdogFantasy.com and register and use the promo code SportsTalkBonus. Claim your free pick and your first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Okay, now to the Sports Talk Pick'em Challenge. And, of course, earlier this week, or maybe it was the end of last week. Yeah, I think it was last Friday. I went over everything. So I won't go everything again, except to say that Dr. Rick, number one in your heart, a number 1 draft pick. He leads 45 up and 30 down. And the rookie is right there. The rookie and the lawyer are sitting there in second place at 41 and 34. Josh, you got some momentum going because your Florida Gators are winning the national championship tonight.
That they are.
And so you're going to carry that momentum over to your picks. Teddy Hefner, 40 and 35. That's Teddy, I'm so sexy without my shirt, 40 and 35. Bobby Harton, the big kahuna in Charleston, 39-36. And then Fran Halloran and the landlord, Kevin Cohen, who, by the way, just raised the rent. The landlord, Kevin Cohen, Fran Halloran, and yours truly, 38-37. Smitty, Dandy Don Williams, godfather of Sports Talk, and Pat Daniel, our true orange-headed stepchild, 37 and 38.
I hope he's not listening. That will upset him extremely, extremely highly.
And let's see. We got
you can
Smothers.
Stop there.
We got the bad boy. He's next to last, 34 and 41. And Bergie, you're in the basement once again at 33 and 42. What are you going to do?
Been hanging out in the basement too long. I'm coming back. I've got a flashlight. I'm going to find my way back to some light here this week. Maybe.
Okay. You got some digging to do or some climbing to do.
There's no doubt.
All right, here we go. Real quick. I'm going bottom to top. I'm taking Texas, San Antonio, Notre Dame, SMU, Tennessee. Give me Clemson and the points. Straight up. I don't know. I don't think, but I think it'll be closer than 12. Give me Clemson and the points. What you got, Chris?
Well, the Coastal game, UTSA has not won a road game all season. So give me the Chanticleers at home, even though this is supposed to be a neutral site game. But Texas, San Antonio, 6-0 inside the Alamo Dome, 0-6 on the road this year. Chanticleers put them to 0-7 to put them out of their misery this season. I'm going to take Clemson as well, Phil. I don't know that they win, but nearly a 2-touchdown underdog on the road. There's nothing that Dabo Swinney loves more than playing that underdog card. I think the Tigers will be ready to go tomorrow. I just don't know that they're going to have enough, but I think they certainly keep it close enough. I'll take Tennessee on the road at Penn State. Where's Tennessee?
Ohio State.
I'm sorry. I just think Tennessee's better. Yep. I'll take Tennessee. Also go with Penn State and Notre Dame tonight at home.
All right. Dr. Rick likes UTSA. He likes the Irish, SMU, Tennessee, and Texas. Smitty likes Coastal, Indiana, SMU, Tennessee. He's also taking the Tigers. We'll give you the rest after the break and a visit with Lee Sterling coming up.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters reporting. Hours to go before a midnight government shutdown, the House approved by a vote of 366 to 34 a new plan late Friday from Speaker Mike Johnson that would temporarily fund federal operations and disaster aid, but drops President-elect Donald Trump's demand for a debt limit increase into the new year. Oklahoma Republican Tom Cole says shutting down the government should be avoided.
None of us, or most of us, do not want to shut down the government. Not a good thing for the country.
The bill now goes to the Senate, where quick passage is expected. Russian missiles targeted Kyiv after Ukraine fired U.S.-made missiles across the border.
At least 3 loud blasts were heard in Kyiv shortly before sunrise, the city administration saying later falling missile debris caused damage and sparked fires in 3 districts of the capital. The attack knocked out heating to hundreds of residential buildings, over a dozen medical facilities and 30 schools and kindergartens. The Russian ministry says the strike's in response to a Ukrainian missile attack on Russia's Rostov border region earlier on Friday. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Authorities in the German city of Magdeburg say at least 2 people were killed and dozens were injured after a car plowed into a busy Christmas market in what officials called a deliberate attack. Authorities say an adult and toddler were killed in Friday's violence. At least 60 other people were injured, including 15 who were hurt seriously. Authorities say the driver of the car was arrested. Saxony-Anhalt's interior minister told reporters that the suspect is a 50-year-old Saudi doctor who first came to Germany in 2006. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 498 points. The Nasdaq rose 199. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, pet parents! With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Do you just grin and bear it or bite the bullet when it comes to everyday pain? Don't. Try Relief Factor, a drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free. It's developed by doctors. In 3 weeks or less, you'll know whether it works for you like it works for me. Try Relief Factor for yourself. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Alaska Governor Mike Dunleavy has a wish list for the incoming Trump administration.
This includes oil and gas exploration in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge and reversing restrictions on logging and road building. Dunleavy has asked President-elect Trump to issue a state-specific executive order aimed at achieving those goals and others. Along with other Republican political leaders in the state, he has expressed excitement about Mr. Trump's return to the White House and sees him as being much more friendly to resource development in Alaska than President Biden. John Scott reporting.
The Education Department has reached an agreement with the University of California system resolving complaints from Jewish and Muslim students of discrimination and harassment during protests last spring over the war in Gaza. It investigated complaints against UCLA, UC Santa Barbara, and UC San Diego. News and analysis at townhall.com.
On Point Weather is made possible by our friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union on 107 The Point.
Here's your weekend forecast. We are clear and chilly tonight with a low temperature dipping down to 34. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine to go with a high of 52. On Sunday, more of the same, but colder. Sunshine-filled skies, a high of just 46. Saturday and Sunday night, expect low temps to dip down into the 20s. Winter is here, so bundle up. Have a great weekend. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
Welcome back to Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network. You can reach the guys with the South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number, 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now back to Phil and Chris with the second hour of Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Okay, we're back. Lee Sterling is coming up in just a moment here on Sports Talk. Let me give you the rest of the picks of our Sports Talk Pick'em Challenge panel, or our challenged panel, as the case may be. It is a challenged panel. So, Kevin Cohen, going to go with UTSA, Penn State, Ohio State, and Texas. And Bobby Harton, he's taking Coastal, Indiana, SMU, Tennessee, and as much as it pains him, he's taking Clemson in the points. Fran Halloran, UTSA, Notre Dame, Penn State, Tennessee, Clemson. Teddy Hefner, he likes the Roadrunners and the Irish, SMU, Tennessee, and Clemson. Alan Smothers, riding with Coastal Carolina. Then Indiana, Penn State, Tennessee, Clemson. Jim Corbett, UTSA, Notre Dame, Penn State, Tennessee, Clemson. And Don Williams, UTSA, Notre Dame, Penn State, Tennessee, and Texas. Pat's picks I don't have yet. He'll get them into me, hopefully before 8 o'clock tonight. Did Josh not do his picks earlier?
He did not.
Oh, Josh, you want to do your picks real quick?
Unless I missed them.
No, I did not. I'm going to do Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame, and Coastal.
Okay. All right. Well, you're Avis. You're number 2 right now, but you are trying harder. And there's a look at the beautiful trophy that will go to the ultimate winner of our Sports Talk Pick'em Challenge. Okay. You've heard from the amateurs. It's now time for professional help here on Sports Talk, as we welcome in from ParamountSports.com, the man knows all, tells all, shares all, and gives you some great insight. If you want to play this weekend, he is Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com. Hello, Lee. How are you, and happy holidays?
I'm good. Same to you. Looking forward to a little bit different weekend. I've never had the college football playoffs, and excited to see how it shakes out.
Yeah, little strange. Yeah. All the snow and the weather and all that, but
right.
They knew when they put this together that could be the case. So here we go. We'll see how it works out. Let's get to your games. You've got 4 for us here to discuss, and then 1 free play. So let's begin. You got Ohio State here by 7 over Tennessee. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so in this game, the question is, where's Ohio State mentally? This is a team that lost to their bitter rival. I think everyone assumed they were going to win the game, move on to the championship game, and hasn't been the case. So the problem is their offensive line. It's an absolute mess. Only 77 rushing yards against Michigan. This Tennessee front 7, I think they're top 5 in the country. They're battle-tested. They've already played at Georgia. They have a running game. Dylan Sampson way under the radar, almost 1,500 rushing yards and 22 touchdowns. And teams that lost, like Ohio State, laying more than 19 points, the next game they're 37 and 67 against the spread. Wrong team favored.
Nope.
Tennessee straight up, 26-24. See you, Ryan Day.
Oh, what do you mean see you, Ryan Day? You think he's done if this happens?
Oh, they lose it. It's over. He may not make it to Monday.
Katie, bar the door. Wow.
Yeah.
Can't even keep your job if you make the playoffs these days.
Right.
What is this, the NFL? Okay. Let's go to NC State by 5 over East Carolina. What do you think?
Well, East Carolina's been a different team since they fired their coach and made the quarterback change. I never thought that Garcia was the guy. I'd seen him down here at Miami. They're pushing the ball down the field, playing a North Carolina State defense that, quite frankly, just doesn't have the talent, doesn't have the depth, and I think East Carolina's a live dog. You got their head coach, North Carolina State, making comments that it's not a rivalry. Well, it might be after this game.
Ooh.
East Carolina, another upset here,
Look out.
35-30. Yep.
You should not write checks with your mouth that you can't cash or something like that. Let's
Doug
go.
Gottlieb.
Yeah, absolutely. He should know. Let's go to let's do the Gamecock Bowl game before we do Clemson.
Yep.
Gamecocks favored by 9 over the Illini.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opt-outs on both sides, but especially some key players. But, I mean, do you really want to lay almost double-digit points against a team, Illinois, that has won 3 straight and in the last 3 games scored 38, 38, and 38 points? They've got a kid running the football now all of a sudden, coming a sensation here, and his name is Aiden Laurie, and just look for him, number 21. I think they're going to be able to run enough here to keep it close. I think South Carolina wins the game here, 28-24, but like I said, 9.5, too much.
Yeah. Gamecock fans would take the win. The heck with the points.
Yeah.
They'd take the win. Boy, that'd be a 10-win season for them. And, they'll be erecting statues of Shane Beamer around downtown Columbia here after that. Okay, Clemson, 12-point dog to Texas. I don't know. I like the points here, but you tell me what you think.
So I was a little shocked when the line came out. I thought it was going to be 7.5, 8. So do you want to lay almost over double digits here with a Texas team that's having trouble scoring? went into Georgia and played in Atlanta in the championship game, and Georgia loses their starting quarterback, doesn't even play in the second half, and you couldn't put him away. I think there's some telltale signs here. I don't trust Quinn Ewers. I think since the injury, he hasn't been the same. I probably would have made the change there to Arch Manning. And Texas's offense, just 106 in red zone scoring percentage. I think the roadmap is there for the Clemson defense. Just keep everything in front of them and shrink the field in the red zone here. And Cade Klubnik, where's he from? Austin, Texas.
Is he?
So he will be ready for this game. Austin Westlake, and he's already beaten Quinn Ewers in the state championship game. I like the freshman receivers, T.J. Moore and Bryant Westco, coming on as the season has progressed here. And I even like their offensive coordinator, Garrett Riley, as opposed to Texas offensive coordinator Kyle Flood, who's a Greg Schiano protege. And I just think he's too conservative here. I think Texas wins 20-16, but 12 points, way too much.
Oh, but you can't give Clemson the W, huh?
It can happen, yeah. I think it's going to be tight. So, maybe just playing at home and special teams for Clemson might be able to keep it close enough. But 12 points is a lot, so
yeah.
I'm hoping for the upset. What I would probably do is I would probably put 75% on your wager on plus 12 and put another 25 on the money line.
Very good. That's the way to think that out and cover yourself. Your free play, Notre Dame, Indiana tonight.
Yep, starting in 45 minutes. All they need to do, go to the website, ParamountSports.com. First option, when you click Purchase Picks, just put in the coupon code FREE, F-R-E-E, just my way of saying thank you. Give you a free selection that we're selling to the public. We've won 8 of the last 9 Friday night plays and 21-6 in the month of December. So hopefully I can put some jingle in everyone's pocket, and they want to come aboard for the rest of the season after that win. So want to wish you and Phil and your family and staff and all the listeners out there a happy, healthy, and a safe holiday.
Yeah, and you too, my friend. Look forward to talking to you again soon.
Sounds good. Take care.
Thank you, Lee. As always,
Lee.
we appreciate it. Lee Sterling with his Sterling picks tonight here on Sports Talk. Let me give you the rundown on our affiliates for our broadcast tomorrow beginning at noon. Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl here in Myrtle Beach. Got a great list of stations. We thank them all. We thank all the owners and operators and program directors, et cetera, et cetera. So, of course, in Columbia, our flagship, WQXL, the Point Radio 100.7. We'll be on in Spartanburg, Woodruff on WQUL, FM and AM. Up in Greenville on WROO, FM. 104.9 over in Orangeburg, WPJK, FM and AM. Rock Hill, WRHM, FM. Great station there as well. Down in Charleston, good buddies there, WTMZ, AM and FM there in Charleston. Over in Lawrence, WLBG, FM and AM. In Florence, WOLH, FM and AM there in Florence. In Barnwell, the Big Dog, WDOG, Barnwell, Allendale, that great metropolitan area over there, WDOG FM. In Union, WBCU, FM and AM. In Sumter, WDXY, FM and AM in Sumter. In Georgetown, WGTN, FM and AM. And in Chesterfield, WVSZ, FM. And, of course, we'll be streaming it through all our streaming outlets as well. So make sure you catch the broadcast tomorrow beginning at noon, kickoff at 12:30, Mr. Football at halftime.
I have a question about that, Phil. I know we've had Scott early on to talk about this. How did they work out the logistics with the Shrine Bowl for that announcement? Because the Shrine Bowl will be, basically at the tail end of the first quarter by the time the Touchstone Energy Bowl reaches halftime?
Yeah, well, they've arranged to have the winner in Myrtle Beach.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. They've arranged to have the winner in Myrtle Beach. So they worked that out. However they do it behind the scenes, they worked it out. All right, here's some Steve Sarkisian. He met with his local media yesterday. Thought I'd bring you a few minutes of that. Steve Sarkisian, head coach of the Texas Longhorns, taking questions. Oh, there's a really good exchange here. If you like exchanges between coaches and media, you'll like this coming up. Here's Sarkisian talking about Clemson.
Ton of respect for Dabo. The more I continue to watch his team, the very attack-driven operation, especially on the defensive front. They create explosive plays on the offensive side of the ball. Klubnik is deadly when he extends the plays, and so we've got a work cut out for us, and it should be a heck of a battle Saturday.
Yeah, Steve. Why would you say Texas is well to win 4 straight games, to win it all, and kind of how do you handle the pressure with your team of being a big favorite at home?
I think, the one thing about our team is we're really versatile. I think we can do a lot of things well, and we can lean into different aspects of our team for what's needed to win whatever style of game that we're presented with. And so I think that's a huge factor in our ability to be successful. I think our depth is another, huge factor in us being successful. We can withstand injuries and when guys get knocked out of games or for an extended period of time, and we can continue to perform at a high level. And we've been in this arena before. This is a 12-team playoff this year. It was a 4-team playoff last year, and we're the only one that's in it again this year. So I think that says a lot about our team, our coaching staff, that we're able to get back into this space again. When the other schools weren't able to do so. And so I think us being comfortable in the arena, understanding the task at hand, I feel comfortable with that, again, it's going to take a great effort. We're going to have to play really well and all that, but I feel comfortable that we've put ourselves in position to do that. I don't know, favored or not. I mean, this is going to be a war Saturday. That's how I look at it.
Quinn obviously needs to make a decision after this season is over. But if this ends up being his last game,
no hypotheticals. I'm not doing hypotheticals. Next one.
It's not a hypothetical. I'm saying if this ends up being his last game, can you talk about his impact that he's had in the 3 years that he's been here? Or he has not had an impact?
I'll answer the question as it pertains to his impact now. I'm not going to answer the question with a hypothetical. So do you want to rephrase the question?
Quinn Ewers has been here for 3 years. What has been his impact that he's had since he's arrived on campus and to where he is now?
Quinn's had a tremendous impact from where our program was when he arrived, and the faith that he's had in our program. We were a 5-7 football team. And the fact that he endured an 8-5 team to the next season, going 12-2, being Big 12 champs, going to the college football playoff, to our first season in the SEC, taking us to an SEC championship game, and again with a fairly high seed in the college football playoff again. I've been really proud of the impact that he's had on our program. He continues to perform in critical moments for us. He continues to fight through adversity, and the resiliency he shows not only physically but mentally is a guy that I'm very proud of.
Okay. Steve Sarkisian, a little back and forth there with one of the local members of the media there in Austin. I'm sure they love each other fondly, and we'll be exchanging some very nice Christmas presents here this week.
Dude, get a dictionary. Learn what hypothetical means. He told you right off the bat he was not going to discuss ifs. And then what's the follow-up question? If this is, and that was great.
It was.
For Sarkisian.
All right, going to hit the break, and we'll come back with recruiting and a couple of minutes with Nick Emanwari. Now, I'm not taking shots at the media here in Columbia, but guys, they brought in several players, including older players, for bowl interviews today, and you're asking these guys if they're playing in the bowl game. Do you think they're going to bring guys in for interviews for the bowl game who aren't going to play in the bowl game? I don't think so. Be back.
This is Major Billy Downer with the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. Boating season is right around the corner here in the Palmetto State. As you get ready for this spring and summer, make sure your registration sticker is up to date and you have a copy of your registration card on board your boat. For more information on boat registration and answers to common questions, visit dnr.sc.gov.
Avoiding excess financial stress from the holidays doesn't take a Christmas miracle. All it takes is a Christmas loan from Founders Federal Credit Union. Our Christmas loan is designed to ease your Yuletide expenses so you can focus on what matters most, spreading joy and love. With our great rates, flexible repayment options, and outstanding service, you'll be ready for whatever the holidays might throw your way. Visit foundersfcu.com/Christmas loan to unwrap your own magic this Christmas. Relax with Founders Federal Credit Union. Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership qualification required.
I'm attorney Jim Corbett. I'm not a case manager. I'm a lawyer for over 35 years. I don't charge 40% for your injury in your wreck case or any on-the-job injury. Call 803-765-2968 and ask for Jim Corbett or email me, jim@jimcorbettattorney.com, for the experience of a lawyer handling your injury case. Jim Corbett, 803-765-2968. Jim@jimcorbettattorney.com. Put 35 years of experience to work on your injury case.
You've put in the work for your education. The extra early, extra late, extra work. That's because you understand education opens doors to better pay, better opportunities, and a better you. Being educated about playing the lottery is no different. It helps you be a better player, one who knows when to play and when to take a rain check. The lottery's a game, so let's keep it fun. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Touchstone Energy Cooperative members save more on electricity, and members save more on insurance, groceries, healthcare, restaurants, travel, concerts, and sporting events through Co-op Connections. Touchstone Energy is an alliance of the member-owned electric cooperatives, and as a member, the power is yours. Experience the power of co-op membership with Touchstone Energy and find out how much you can save on electricity and a whole lot more at touchstoneenergy.com.
High school champions have been crowned, and now it's time for the All-Stars to shine, and they always shine brighter at the beach. This is Phil Kornblut, and be sure to join our crew Saturday from Myrtle Beach for the Touchstone Energy Cooperative Bowl. We'll hit the air at 11:30 with kickoff at noon. At the half, we'll have the live announcement of Mr. Football in South Carolina. It all comes your way right here Saturday at 11:30 on the Sports Talk Media Network.
The Sports Talk Recruiting Report is sponsored by Seawell's Catering.
All right, time for the recruiting report here on Sports Talk. It's brought to you by Seawell's. Of course, make sure you get to Seawell's next week. Well, check out the schedule because with the holiday, they'll be closed several days next week. I don't have the schedule in front of me. Josh, if you can check real quick and see if it says when they're closed. I imagine they're closed certainly Christmas Day, and maybe a day before, maybe a day. They might be closed all next week. But when they're open, you want to get there for the daily luncheon buffet.
It doesn't say. So.
Okay. Call in advance. Call in advance. Probably going to be closed most of the week. And when you're thinking about calling Seawell's and you need the very best in the catering business, well, that's who you want to reach out to. Their phone number is 803-771-7385, online at SeawellsCateringSC.com. Okay, some big notes. South Carolina loses transfer commitment linebacker Andrew Jones to Ole Miss. He visited today, and according to On3, he has now committed to Ole Miss. He's actually transferring from Grambling. Ohio State transfer quarterback Air Nolan plans to visit USC tomorrow, according to Pete Nakos of On3. Nolan was a big-time quarterback coming out of Georgia in high school, and South Carolina was involved with him back then, so they'll get a chance to visit with him again on Saturday and see what they can do with him there. Max Olson of ESPN reported USC is one of the schools involved with West Virginia transfer running back C.J. Donaldson, who just hit the portal on Thursday. He reported Miami, Florida State, Ole Miss, and Texas Tech were also among the contenders. Transfer corner Miles Norwood wrapped up his official visit to South Carolina today. I believe he should have today. He came in on Thursday. Might be leaving tomorrow, but maybe left today. Coming off a visit to Louisville, and he plans to visit Kentucky this weekend, so he probably left USC today. Those are his top three. Alabama transfer running back Justice Haynes, also visiting South Carolina Thursday and Friday, coming off a visit to Ole Miss, and he is scheduled for Michigan this weekend. Florida transfer defensive tackle T.J. Searcy expected to make a visit to USC around trips to Florida and Texas A&M. And a Gaffney native and former Duke quarterback Grayson Loftus transferring to Charlotte, and quarterback Brooks Bentley, youngest son of Coach Bobby Bentley, transferring from Wingate to New Hampshire. Okay, there you go with the recruiting tonight here on Sports Talk. And now, Gamecock safety Nick Emanwari takes questions from the media in Columbia today. Several players went in to visit with the media today. Here's Nick Emanwari.
A couple for you. One, are you definitely playing in the bowl game?
Yeah, I'm being a bowl game. Yeah.
And two, what does it mean to you not only to be a local kid and an All-American, but to go for a 10th win, which the school hasn't seen very often?
It's huge. Going for a 10th win in Columbia. I think Coach Beamer mentioned to the team, I think it would be the fourth it's ever been done 4 times ever, or it will be the 4th time. I'm not sure. So it's a huge thing to get that 10th win for the city, for the state of South Carolina, for the program. So big thing. That's the number one goal right now.
What led you to the decision of wanting to play in the bowl game, and did you kind of get the sense from your teammates that there was kind of a rallying cry to do that?
Yeah, after we didn't get in the playoffs, it was kind of like we were disappointed as a team. And I remember we came into that next team meeting and it was just kind of silent. We were kind of mad a little bit. And then Coach Beamer made a good point about how Florida State kind of probably felt the same way. And we didn't want to be like the same team because it kind of derailed their season in a way. So we kind of just want to come with a different mental approach and just show what we can do in the bowl game and make a statement there. So that's kind of the whole mindset and approach to the game.
What would you say would be your signature play of this season, your best play this season?
I'd probably say made a lot of plays this season. My favorite play or my signature play probably be that LSU interception that got called back. And, it was a heartbreaking call, but that was probably my favorite interception or my favorite play because, if you watch the film, I was talking to OD and I kind of changed our defense on the fly. We didn't really talk about that. We practiced it, but that wasn't in the game plan. So it was just an IQ play of mine, and I communicated to OD. And if you watch the film, I told him to do a certain technique, and it just worked, and he threw it. And it was just the craziest play. We talk about that every practice, every chance we get. And I took it back for the pick six, and that would have been a great way to end the game. Beat LSU off a pick six. So that's probably my favorite play. But
now that you guys are back.
Okay, Nick Emanwari. All of Nick is up on our website, SportsTalkSC.com, in the nick of time. He, by the way, was asked about his plans after the bowl game. He is draft eligible. He said that's still to be determined what he's going to do after the bowl game. So we'll see what he decides there. Chris, you are hopping off, so you have a great weekend there in Jonesboro, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Got basketball tomorrow, football on Monday, so we'll have plenty to talk about on Monday evening.
Oh, so much. Okay, we'll be right back with George Bryan.
On Point Weather is made possible by our friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union on 107 The Point.
Here's your weekend forecast. We are clear and chilly tonight with a low temperature dipping down to 34. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine to go with a high of 52. On Sunday, more of the same, but colder. Sunshine-filled skies, a high of just 46. Saturday and Sunday night, expect low temps to dip down into the 20s. Winter is here, so bundle up. Have a great weekend. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
Tradition and quality. That's what you get with H&J Cattle Company, where local third-generation farmers ensure you receive the finest beef in South Carolina. Our registered Hereford and Wagyu cattle are raised with sustainable practices, without growth hormones, antibiotics, or animal byproducts. Taste the difference with the highest quality beef guaranteed. Order now at hdjcattle.co or on Instagram and Facebook at hdjcattle.co. Again, hdjcattle.co, where ethics meets quality.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters reporting hours to go before a midnight government shutdown. The House has approved a new plan from House Speaker Mike Johnson. It would temporarily fund federal operations and disaster aid, but drops President-elect Donald Trump's demands for a debt limit increase into the new year. It next goes to the Senate for expected quick passage. A judge has ruled that Missouri's near-total abortion ban is unenforceable under a new constitutional amendment. Jackson County Circuit Judge Jerry Zhang has issued an order to block the state's strict abortion law. The ruling Friday comes after a new abortion rights constitutional amendment recently took effect. Missouri is one of 5 states where voters approved abortion rights ballot measures in the general election. More details at srnnews.com.
If you are 65 or older, people hear me talking about Broker Solar and how much I like Ken and his team. They ask, hey, can I really trust this guy, Kev? Let me tell you 2 things. Number 1, Ken and Broker Solar are legit. I've known Ken's family for 20 plus years. Seriously, these are local, ethical people. They're not going anywhere, and they do things the right way. Number 2, Broker Solar is so different than these stereotypes we've heard about in the solar industry. There's no signs on the yard making stupid promises they can't keep. There's no door knockers trying to pressure you at your own door. Ken and Broker Solar will tell you the truth, what it'll cost, and how your solar power investment will pay off. See, we can't pick our power companies. Broker Solar gives you a chance to take some control over your power bill, and I like that, and so should you. Online, it's brokersolar.com, and seriously, reach out to Ken and these folks. It could really make a difference in your quality of life. Brokersolar.com, empowering you so you're not powerless.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Customer service. We all talk about how it's gone down the tubes in recent years, but not everywhere. Not with the Hickory Hill Insurance Agency. These are the folks I want you to feel comfy reaching out to for your Medicare and health insurance needs. Tim Hanberry and Medicare Blueprint have joined Hickory Hill Insurance. The result? Even better customer service with a bigger team to help you by utilizing the very best technology in the industry. And you know what else? Just plain old caring about people and treating them like their family. When you call them, you'll get a call back fast. When you need a question answered, they'll take the time to help. This industry is so confusing and so ever-changing. They have a team that knows the best plans for you. They'll ask all the questions, they'll get all the answers, and as always, it won't cost you a penny to get their services. The best way to learn more? Visit their website, partdandme.com. That's partdandme.com, or call the team at Hickory Hill Insurance Agency. They're local, and they're willing to talk one-on-one. Remember, customer service still matters. 708-7398, 708-7398, or online, partdandme.com.
Straight down the middle, it went straight down the middle. Then it started to hook just a wee bit, and that's when my caddy lost sight of it. That little white pellet has never been found to this day, but it went straight down the middle.
Down, Jesus. Birdies, bogeys, biceps. All around South Carolina, we welcome in George Bryan III to Birdies, Bogeys, and Biceps. George, happy holidays. Great to have you with us. Here's what I want to do tonight. We haven't discussed this unless you had something in mind that you had to do.
Oh, I can't wait. And this is cool that we literally, it's an audible.
It is.
Almost about this time of year. And with golf the way it is, I think it's perfect. And the way our imagination is, see, we age better than wine, fine wine, that is.
No question.
We just grow right along together.
Here's what I want to do tonight. since we don't really have anything planned and it's loosey-goosey as we're going into the holiday, I want to interview you on a few topics. I want to ask the questions and you give the answers. You don't have to lead this time. I'll be the A player, you be the C player or D player.
Hey, as long as I'm a player, that's all I need to know. As long as I'm in the game.
You don't know how to be a C or a D player. I understand that. Okay. First of all,
I'm learning. I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, as Father Time, 100% of those that are is fortunate to stay on the sunny side of the sod. Well, it's going to catch you, and it is. It's just thrown me to the ground in the last few weeks. But more, keep going. Let's tee it up. Let's go.
Well, let's begin. I want to begin. Tsunami Bar Sports, a great sponsor of this segment. We thank them very much for their involvement. So let's go back to the beginning with Tsunami Bar Sports and how you got involved with them and why you believed and still believe today that their equipment is not a requirement, but is a great bonus for the golfer. Their equipment in the bag is a boost, can help boost you as far as your health and your physique and your golf game. What convinced you of that?
Well, first of all, it was not necessarily the product; it was the people. Mike Ramsey, he came. He's been a longtime friend of mine. He and Scott Williams. I saw them get into business together, and we got started at the driving range at Lake Murray Golf Center, which then moved to Northwoods back in 93 or 94. Now I knew Mike Ramsey had played college golf, and he was a good player from even back in the day. He played at Erskine anyhow, so I knew of him. But we started a relationship through golf, and he and Scott Williams are absolutely phenomenal partners in building weight rooms, fitness equipment, and for the longest time, they do it so well, and the way they are as people, I went, man, I just can't. I would love for there to be something that we could do together, and quite frankly, nothing happened for a decade of me even bringing it up, but one day he dropped the Tsunami Bar off and said, I think there might be something here that you need to take a look at. After a prayer jog, and I'm not exaggerating, I had no idea what to do, and at the end of the prayer jog, I had a lesson scheduled with him, headlong. Long story short, there was discovery as I picked that bar up to put it in his car to say there's nothing, and I went, let me just throw this at you. And that was 10 years ago. So this bar was invented in the Clemson weight room for football players. David Abernathy was the assistant strength coach to Coach Batson. And what it is, in my opinion, this is what I said. This is not truth in totality, but this is my perspective. It was invented for football players, but the golfers are going to be the greatest beneficiaries. And this is why the product bends, it twists and torques just exactly like a golf club. So every rep, every second invested with your hand wrapped around the bar. And by the way, most of the bars at this point, the majority of them are designed to be held. So all golfers, what do we use to propel the ball? That's right, the golf club. So the Tsunami Bar has the exact same physical properties as the golf club. So it just made sense to me that with every single movement, with every second invested, the body was learning how to manipulate the golf club, the golf shaft. The golf shaft is the engine of the club. Fast forward to 2024, and now we are in the golf world beginning to get a little sunlight. The golfers, we've had PGA Tour players, even Ryder Cup players, what I call beta test the product for a number of years, but we're just now landing protocols that make a big difference. And let's just go a little step beyond the golf game. This tool, Vince Bismarck is a cardiologist, so I brought Vince in a few years ago. I actually use the tools as pattern support first, to introduce players that way. That means I show them some golf moves that could benefit their golf swing. They get a benefit. Well, Vince Bismarck is a great friend of mine, great student. He's a cardiologist. I said, Vince, what do you think of the bar? He began to use it. He uses the tools now. And this is, in short, what Vince had to say after the pattern support protocols. Vince wanted a little – he doesn't get to play that much. He's a cardiologist. But when he does play, he wants to play well. So the pattern support, what I call the impact conditioning protocol, seemed to – not just seemed, it has improved his game, but this is what he says that I think is the most important part of the bar. It's an ignition switch and an entry into fitness. And just a little bit, and this is what Vince said, George, I don't know of a tool where you can invest less effort and get a better cardio output, meaning the push-pull. You can go to your video. What's the website that we can find? Remind me of your website that we have these videos. You can a little push-pull.
Yep.
It would be
SportsTalkSC.com.
There you go. So there's some protocols on that website. You can go to TsunamiBarSports.com and see protocols where rhythm and tempo. You get to ignite to get any goodie out of the bar at all. You have to push pull to get a little what I call feedback, and that little rhythmic feedback is tempo in golf, and the tempo is, in my opinion, the number one variable we're trying to work on when we're playing the game of golf. So David Abernathy has always said, hey, there's no tool out there that has more effectiveness getting it to the grass. And that's what I say. If you want to take fitness to the golf course, if you want to take your investment on strength and conditioning to the golf course, there's no tool out there like the Tsunami Bar. But back to what Vince Bismarck said, hey, you can do a little bit to get a great return. George, all you got to do is remember, a little bit invested, you get a great cardio output. That means blood flow to the extremities, the heart squeezes, and it is proof. There is proof now. You just go look it up yourself. Anybody can look up the Harvard Medical Journal and see interval training, and there are tremendous benefits for just 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 minutes protocols throughout the day instead of or in addition to a caffeine break. Grab some speed sticks and work them for 30 seconds to 45 seconds. Randy Brown, we're going to kick this off 2025. I've already quasi-cleared it with Randy Brown. He's a mortgage banker here and locally, and his whole office is using the tools. In fact, more later, like I said, I've been holding on to this since April earlier in the year. Dropped the tools off. They use the tools on the coffee breaks. I call it the ignition cognition, where you just take a little ignition cognition tsunami break instead of, or in addition to, a little caffeine break. Get the heart going for 30 seconds to 3 minutes, and it's amazing how that blood flow makes the body feel. I know I've rambled on a bit, but you can feel my excitement, and I don't mind telling you. This is the medium we chose to introduce softly and in a gradual way, and that's this show, Birdies and Bogeys. We still haven't come up with all the presentation, what I just call the clickbait buzzwords. That's not my terms. That's what I've learned. But we haven't found all the words to accurately present just how amazing the tool is. But I'll tell you this, that the world is starting to discover the benefits, and it's changed my life. I have absolutely enjoyed the game more than ever because of using this product. And that doesn't mean I play very well, Phil. That doesn't mean.
Come on, George.
That doesn't mean I play very well. It just means I have more fun playing the game because I do hit from time some qualitative shots. They're not all long and straight like I want, but I tell you what, I feel good, got plenty of energy during the day, and I don't mind telling you, this is some science. Dr. Don Moore, another good friend, who is a little older than Vince, he says this about the product. George, a little bit of interval training, this is what it does for me. It's kind of like a washing and cleaning in the joints and almost like nourishment. That's you can go look it up. There is science behind the actual nourishment of a little bit of interval training, get synovial fluid sites open, and there's some real facts behind what Dr. Moore said. And he, like I said, he used it for a period of time. I actually hadn't talked to him in a few months, but at one point he just go get the paper to the mailbox, walk to the mailbox and back, get in his car and go to work. Not any more than 2 or 3 minutes at the most, and that's what he used the product for. So there you have it. But let me just sum it up. The most important thing is taking care of yourself. I feel like we're called to do that. Our body's our temple, and we're called to take care of it. And that's a KTism, and just a little bit a day gives you that flush that it literally cleans up the attitude, gives the brain, so that blood flow to the extremities gives that brain a little brain food. So it actually release or exercise, it causes a release of endorphins. These are the things that make you happy without medicating or what I call hydrating with some of the other variables out there that we occasionally use in golf. Not knocking those, just saying. All
right.
So
okay, let me. That's great stuff. And the other cool thing, of course, is manufactured right here in South Carolina, in Columbia, on Chris Road, and folks can stop by there and visit Tsunami Bar Sports and Fitness and get a tour, I guess, and check things out. It's a fabulous business operation there, and they're doing a great job. All right, shifting gears. We're wrapping up 2024 in golf all around the world. And, of course, in Orlando this weekend, you got the PNC Championship, father-son competition. Tigers playing in it, and many other big names are playing in it. I kind of thought the Bryans might be involved, but not this year. Maybe next year you'll get in there. But here in South Carolina, we had the naming of the Golfers of the Year by the SCGA. I think I mentioned this last week. We didn't get a chance to dive into it, so I thought I'd give you a chance to dive into this, talk about these two individuals. Sam Jackson wins for the third time the State Player of the Year. He's out of West Columbia. Third consecutive Player of the Year title for him. And out of Spartanburg, Todd White, his second straight Senior Player of the Year honor. So I'll let you chop it up on those two for a moment or two, because I know you know them well.
Well, I know Sam a little better than Todd. I've known Todd for a lot of years, and he is an incredible competitor. Got a beautiful way. I watched him go through college and thought he would be a tour player, and he played just on the edge. And I guess his fate had him remaining an amateur. He's had tremendous influence. He is girls coach I'm just drawing a blank. I guess Dorman golf coach, and he does a spectacular job as a golf coach. But his playing skills are exceptional. Still one of the best players in the country, especially in the senior category. I think I guess he's 54, 55, 53-ish, and spectacular human being first, a gentleman. But his influence on golf right now, I know he's a great player, I think, is attributed more to his coaching skills. And I've learned more about Todd in the last 2 or 3 years through his students than I actually know about his game recently. And he's had great information to pass along, and anybody in that area that has been under his tutelage, well, they're very fortunate, and they're going to stay in the game for a lifetime. And Sam Jackson, I watched him grow up. I had the privilege of having him come through. He got he and the Provost are from Pillion, and they put Pillion from a golf standpoint on the map. And I saw them come up through the winter tour and the programs here, the South Carolina Junior Golf Association. Wonderful families. We're talking 3 years in a row to be the best amateur in the state. Absolutely spectacular. And I would guess Sam's age to be 31, 32. He's in the category of age of my youngest child, Mary Chandler, and Sam is one of those right on the edge of being a PGA Tour player. He's that good, and it's a fine line. And he is, as well as I mentioned about Mr. White, Sam Jackson is a spectacular human being too. He handles himself like a gentleman, and what I like to say is these folks represent the game of golf, the community, and their families beautifully, and it is a privilege to know them both. And man, they can both play, and both would be right on the edge if you go watch tour players. You couldn't tell the difference if you were just listening. There would be almost no difference in score. It's just a matter of a shot here or there over a period of 4 rounds to 10 rounds that you could see the difference in where they are and the ones we watch on TV. That's a fact. And South Carolina has always produced some of the best golfers in the world. And speaking of that, I got a chance to see Lucas Glover play a few years ago. I think he would have dominated that award had he been eligible, and he might have. I don't know the history. He could have been the player of the year back when he was amateur, junior amateur. I'm sure he's won. He's got 2 or 3 different. He's probably got a couple of houses of awards, but still, most important thing about Lucas, as I mentioned about Jackson and White, is he's a spectacular individual. What I was going to say about Lucas is I got a chance to watch him play in the final round in Bermuda just a few weeks ago, and my goodness, he still represents well and always a gentleman. He didn't have a very good day, but I tell you, after the round, we had a few words, and he is just the absolute epiphany of being a true gentleman. And that's one thing I'll say South Carolina has been very special. 1982 or 3 is when I kind of got into the game, especially the competitive side of it. Phil, that's about somewhere in that category is when I got the one thing that I could always measure. If I played great, then I got a chance to mix it up with media folks like you and Gillespie, Bob Gillespie, Bob Spear. Who was your compadre? Don.
Don Williams.
Yeah, Don Williams. Oh, man, it was
Teddy
cool
Hefner.
if I ever played well. Teddy Hefner.
Teddy Hefner.
It was cool if I got a chance to mix it up with you guys.
Who still thinks he's better than you at golf?
Well, I know that. Hey, when we get on the radio, man, we're the best.
Yeah.
We're always the greatest in our own mind. We're a legend in our own mind once we get this radio microphone in front of us. So, yeah,
all right,
truly.
Another quick question for you as we wrap up our interview, our exclusive interview with GB3. You don't get this everywhere, not even on the Golf Channel, not even on XM Golf Channel, 93, I think it is, or 92. So it's the holiday season. It's Christmas, it's Hanukkah, all wrapped up in one this year, starting next week, middle of next week. So forget about Tsunami Bar. We know if people are interested in going to Tsunami Bar for holiday gifts, that's a great idea. Do it. Check out the website. Go to our website. Click on the link to their website. Use the bonus BBB5. Get 5% off. That's a great gift. But let's just say pure going on the golf course, hitting the golf ball, pulling a club, anything that goes along with a golf bag. What are 1 or 2 fantastic golf gifts you would recommend that are usable, that are handy, handy dandy. If you want to give the common golfer, a friend of yours, and I'm not thinking about me, George, the common golfer, friend of yours, if you wanted to give them a golf-centric gift for the holidays, what are one or two things you would think of?
Oh, I got to tell you, the golf ball is just I am such a softy about golf balls, and that's the A number one. There are others out there. It's real easy, and Titleist, Callaway, one of those main brands, TaylorMade. Those are the main brands, and you just cannot go wrong. It is the closest thing to a golfer's heart, and if I were to have to slip into a little customized close second, if their sports, say college, pro team, some sort of a golf cap or something associated with their favorite team, that would be a close second. But there's nothing like golf balls. Nothing like getting a box or I say a dozen golf balls. That just melts me down, always has. I still get excited if I get a dozen golf balls. Now, there could be others out there better, but that's just a go-to for me. What a great question, too.
Well, I just think, this time of the year, people are thinking of ideas. Yeah, golf balls. Now, would you you said hat, maybe a golf shirt, if you know the proper size, golf shirt?
Yeah, if you got the specifics on the custom, those are always awesome. I know head covers, those are cool. And be real careful about trying to get a golf club. Those anymore.
Yeah.
A gift certificate. Make sure you check out the conditions, but a gift certificate for golf clubs at the golf shop that's local, nearby, that you have a relationship with. Gift certificates for golf rounds are cool too. Check out the conditions that go with it, because you can't go wrong. There's some great golf courses around the state that you can just literally call up, change a person's life with a gift certificate. I'm telling you, the golfers out there get real soft about certain things, and you can ask enough. You can bait the hook enough to ask questions to find out where they're soft, what their favorite is, and those are. Hey, we were talking earlier. I can't let this go by. I saw Randolph Smith today. We had a little gathering, Irmo gathering, and he reminded me we had a conversation about our Gamecock coach, Caitlin Anderson, being named Palmer Cup co-coach at Congaree coming up in 2025. And that could be one of the biggest golf announcements of the year. And I don't know who else has earned that honor. I know Coach Penley would have gotten a chance to coach just about anything, but congratulations to Coach Caitlin, USC Gamecock coach, for being selected as the Palmer coach for 2025.
Oh, that's awesome.
I hear my music there.
Yep.
I hear it. Until next week, next time, see 'em high but shoot 'em low. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Me too. You have a great holiday, my friend. We'll see you on the flip side after bowl season and playoff season and all that. Have a great night, everybody. Don't forget the game tomorrow. We'll see you Monday.